Yes, guys, we're back. Nuclear Reaction Faction. We're reacting to Cyraxx's Horrifying History by Turkey Tom. The full documentary is on his channel. Go check it out. I'll link it in the description. I couldn't sleep. My bipolar's sending me crazy, so I thought I'd just jump straight on and do another video. So let's get it popping. I have to warn you though, this geezer, like, he makes you feel like you're gonna have a seizure every time you watch him. So yeah, prepare yourself.
We're back at odds as the latter dropped a video attacking him.
And you might think I suck. Well, dude, if I suck so bad, why is my music up on Spotify? Why have I been Reverb Nation's #1 artist from 2010 up to this year? So I guess that.
Bro, he can't. Does he actually believe that? Has he deluded himself into thinking that? Because like that's so obviously like so obviously a false claim and can be proven like easily. Does he believe it himself, or is he flexing, hoping that people will just believe him, like based on the content of his character?
It's not really shit, but you know what? At least I'm out here making money. That's the issue with you. You're not fucking business smart.
Apparently, Chance.
This guy has started a million different. You can't even call them businesses. All he does is he says on his Facebook, yeah, he says, "Oh, I'm starting this. Oh, I'm starting that. Oh, I'm starting this." And then next day he's not doing it anymore and he's starting something else. That's not. Sorry, it's too much.
He's been rated the best musician in the entire nation for the entire decade and is making money. Again, anything is sufficient to make Cyraxx's ego inflate, and learning how to simply publish his music on platforms has got him convinced that there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people buying his music. During the video, there's a moment in which he acts like he's going to show his money before giving up on it.
You know what? Nah. I ain't gonna waste that on you.
Very obviously, he relented because there's probably not any money to speak of. A couple of days later, he shows his chiseled abs and pecs underneath what looks to be a discount Sonichu necklace.
If that's not some sort of weird filter, dude's been doing crunches, man. He needs to do some more push-ups, though.
I think these things must be like voodoo totems and invoke the same demon that possesses these guys to do the stuff they do. Despite now being a successful superstar in music, Cyraxx once again started pursuing another endeavor, filmmaking.
Is that a cheeky little grass leaf I see there? Is that on the bottom left? I'm being careful of what words I use.
On the 26th of June, he posted an unofficial trailer for a movie called Lady in White. Another wonderful film production from Mr. Rax is this monstrosity.
What the hell? What is this?
You scared?
Yes. He's found his true purpose, his true calling.
You better run.
Cyraxx the
After
movie.
this, he posted an image of a Google Hangouts Chester Bennington.
Is it just me, or is that flipping disturbing, mate? I only rewinded to hear what Tom's saying. Now I'm gonna have to watch it again. I just flipping realise my worst own enemy, man. Gonna get like that. It'll give you a seizure. Flipping out. That's gonna give me nightmares as well. Cyraxx the movie part 2.
You better run.
Flipping
After
out,
this,
will,
he posted
mate.
an image of a Google Hangouts Chester Bennington had participated in and edited his own face in the corner in a hilariously bad fashion to make it look like they were like hanging out. Come July 4th, and Cyraxx celebrates it by getting into another relationship, and right after releases a new track called Please Notice Me that somehow manages to be a #1 hit before it was even published. It's not enough to lie about his success in one venue, he has to do it in all of them. He claims he's in tears because he had to turn down a deal with Hoonigan, a well-known racing channel, because he didn't have 100,000 subs on YouTube, and that Hoonigan was willing to send him a full setup. Later on, he had—
Dude, sorry, I just realised in the camera, I really do look that tired, don't I? Flipping hell. I cannot sleep for the life of me, man. Bipolar is terrible. I thought it was like the shadow from my mic, so I was like moving my mic trying to like get rid of it, and then I was like, oh no, you just look like a crackhead. Okay.
success in one venue, he has to do it in all of them. He claims he's in tears because he had to turn down a deal with Hoonigan, a well-known racing channel, because he didn't have 100,000 subs on YouTube, and that Hoonigan was willing to send him a full setup. Later on, he admits that he has no license and thus wouldn't be allowed to drive anything, let alone a race car. After a while of not getting anything done, Cyraxx decides to attention seek by trying to get people to pity him, and telling a fake story about how the doctors told him he'd have to stop making music or he was going to lose his voice. His pity-baiting posts intensify as he retells his life story for the umpteenth time, this time subtracting 2 ounces from his birth weight to make it even more extreme. In order to stick to his "I'm going to lose my voice" story, he pivots to being a photographer again, until on the 17th, he announces again that he's entered a relationship.
Bro, them photographs are too good for this guy. Like, didn't look that bad.
2 ounces from
Did he steal it like he steals everything else?
his birth weight to make it even more extreme. In order to stick to his "I'm going to lose my voice" story,
Yeah. I don't believe he took those. I think he ripped those.
he pivots to being a photographer again, until on the 17th, he announces again that he's entered a relationship. On the same day, he reveals he's gotten back together with Abby, but the good times only lasted so long. His song, "Please Notice Me," was attracting some attention on YouTube, and consequently, negative attention as well. People were pointing out how horrible it sounded, and Cyraxx was responding in a very Cyraxx fashion. August is a relatively quiet month, with him mourning his bandmates from high school who allegedly overdosed on heroin and meth at the same time. A little while later, he starts flipping out on people who steal art right before his own artwork suffers copyright takedown due to the fact that a lot of it is just...
If this guy is lying about his friends overdosing, I've had friends who've died, and God, man, if he's lying about that, that is really, really upsetting, man. Really upsetting. Like, for one, oh no, just don't, mate. Just don't do it to yourself, Cyraxx, mate. You're just your own worst enemy.
Quiet month, with him mourning his bandmates from high school who allegedly overdosed on heroin and meth at the same time. A little while later, he starts flipping out on people who steal art right before his own artwork suffers copyright takedown due to the fact that a lot of it is just downloaded from Google Images and re-uploaded as his own. Eventually, the 6 weeks waiting period that he claims he has to undergo in order to claim royalties for his music is up, and now he gets to lay his hands on the total lump sum of $14, though he struggles to do so and starts berating the platform that supposedly owes him money on Facebook. Later on,
So
early signs...
they've obviously got a withdrawal limit, yeah, because of fees and transactions. Probably about $50 or like $100. I'm surprised that he's even made $14. To be honest with you, like, that's got to be $13 of that has got to be people just clicking on it for the lulz, surely.
of troll activity begin, with people doing the old CWC routine of taking his name and pretending to be the real him online, and immediately this tactic shows some success at getting a reaction out of Cyraxx. The lack of music in September is justified by the other things Cyraxx is up to during the month. Namely, he drops a trailer for his first short horror movie, The Darkness. As you can see...
Oh my gosh, maybe he's found his niche, but he shouldn't be the one acting and directing it. He should be the lead.
All characters are played by him in an Eddie Murphy Norbit type of vibe. It's also in September that he drops one of his most absolute classic videos, the dance battle response to an old rival. I really don't know how to put into words how I feel about this, other than amazing, excellent, divine, beautiful. Later on in the month, he does a rumor that he drops one of his most absolute...
He's better at dancing than I thought he'd be, I'll put it that way. Like, there's some sort of like quasi half body popping going on there. You got some almost like a bit of like robotic stuff happening.
Classic videos, the dance battle response to an old rival. I really don't know how to put into words how I feel about this.
It's like breakdancing mixed with kung fu or tai chi.
Then amazing, excellent, divine, beautiful. Later on in the month, he does a rehash of his tutorial on how to become a successful artist without spending any money, this time under the moniker of Dark Star Films, his fantasy production company for The Darkness. In early October, which is fittingly the spooky month, The Darkness is dropped in its entirety, and it's absolutely incomprehensible. It begins with a sped-up shot of Cyraxx walking into his own house, before a hard cut to a flashback wherein you can see him with a PewDiePie face cam looking dumbfounded as he frantically switches between some kind of virtual radio stations, but all you can hear is static. Cut to the present, he wakes up on the couch and starts mumbling nonsense to himself for a few minutes. He walks around his house until he randomly starts hearing voice acting lines from the baby character at a Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, which I believe are copyrighted, by the way, so we're not going to play that. He ignores this and continues to wander aimlessly until he leaves his house to look for his friends. In doing so, he becomes hypnotized by how beautiful the forest looks and finds himself compelled to walk into it like an ancient Greek tale. He hears more lines from the baby character, and this time it freaks him out, prompting him to start running around. Eventually, he identifies whatever is haunting him as the force of darkness before going home and calling his friends again. He hears more baby lines and goes back to wigging out, but eventually just goes back to sleep. Once he falls asleep, the movie cuts to Cyraxx in the darkness with a blinking light illuminating his face as a nightmare sequence.
Oh,
he wakes up
scary.
again and starts talking to himself until the baby lines start up again, and I guess he starts choking to death. After that, he just plays someone else's creepy horror video, and then there's a few minutes of darkness. Quite conceptual. Dude,
It's better than I thought it was gonna be.
how unintentionally funny the darkness was, it garnered more views than Cyraxx as usual, and eventually, it piques the attention of the man who would make Cyraxx famous, but not for the reasons you would expect. The official Cyraxx timeline, because yes, he has an official timeline, marks October the 19th as the day Cyraxx's nemesis, Music Biz Marty, discovered his existence due to someone called the Boy Blue introducing him to Chance's content while he harassed one of his ex-girlfriends, Candle. There's no linked source to back this particular time frame, but by closely studying his Facebook activity, we can deduce that Cyraxx entered into a relationship with Candle on the 11th of October, and they, I guess, continue to stay together until the end of November, when Cyraxx posts about his prospects of marrying her, even picking...
Sorry guys, one sec, man. These headphones and this flipping, there you go. Get my afro out of these flipping headphones, mate. And this itchy as hell, man. All right, that's a bit better. Let's get it popping. Sorry, let's go back, Tom.
But by closely studying his Facebook activity, we can deduce that Cyraxx entered into a relationship with Candle on the 11th of October, and they, I guess, continue to stay together until the end of November, when Cyraxx posts about his prospects of marrying her, even picking out who would be the godparents of the children he was planning to have with her. Thankfully, it never got that far, though, considering we're soon to discover Cyraxx's proclivity toward frequently whipping out his private parts whenever given the opportunity, or not given the opportunity. We can assume that having a girlfriend kept Rax nicely wrangled up for the month of November, because no occurrences took place whatsoever. However, the month of December kicks off with an already very strange note. Cyraxx makes a live stream asking for people to financially help him move Candle in with him, all the way from Mississippi to Akron. According to Chance, this is necessary because her parents are allegedly abusive and have kicked her out, rendering her homeless. He further establishes that she's disabled and half blind, much like himself, and that her parents have been stealing her disability money away from her, going as far as shredding Candle's debit card when it came in the mail to prevent her from making her own purchases and taking her car keys away from her to keep her from taking it with her.
So how would they be able to spend our money then?
What's particularly strange about this whole ordeal is that just a day later, Candle herself makes a comment saying, "Why would I come to you after the way you did me?" This makes it sound a lot like they were no longer together by the time Chance made this stream, despite him referring to her as his girlfriend multiple times in it. He proceeds to block her and make a post about her, saying, "How the fuck do I always end up with all these girls who are not right in the head? Is it too much to ask for a normal, healthy relationship?"
Well, the weird thing about Cyraxx is, yeah, or Chance, whatever you want to call him, sorry, is the weird thing is he can actually pull chicks, yeah, but like he still has to lie about other girls that aren't real. So, like, he lies about everything, whether there's truth in it or not.
Not to reaffirm the idea that there's something wrong with Candle, but it's hardly a mystery why Cyraxx can't get into a normal, healthy relationship. In any event, while we don't exactly know what's going on behind the scenes with Candle and him, he tries his best to play it cool for the rest of the month, telling the usual lies about having fans and being a professional drift racer in real life. Ultimately, his strategy of just letting the Candle situation burn itself out didn't work, because she made some kind
Tom, was that a bit of poetry from you there? Let the candle situation burn itself out. He slips in these little like nuggets of gold, yeah, that like you might not catch straight away, but like, oh, Tom, you're a poet, mate. I'm gonna listen to that again.
Behind the scenes with Candle and him, he tries his best to play it cool for the rest of the month, telling the usual lies about having fans and being a professional drift racer in real life. Ultimately, his strategy of just letting the Candle situation burn itself out didn't work, because she made some kind of video about him called Chance Wilkins is Insane, which is unfortunately private and there's no way of accessing it. We only know of his existence because Cyraxx made a post about it on Facebook saying, "I'm sitting here in tears because of this girl. She has done nothing but harass me, bully me, and spread rumors about me that are not true, and refuses to stop, and the police refuse to help." Well, there's no telling what she truly said. A comment left on the post by Eric Scrubbelow suggests that Candle has given out Chance's address and recommended people harass him in some fashion. The year 2019 starts out with an immediate welfare check, as reported by the police, though its details have been redacted and we don't know what's in them. However, they might be, and probably are, related to the havoc that was recently wreaked in Cyraxx's life by Candle. On his Facebook, he initially expresses some some relief, saying, "I want to say thank you to everyone. Because of all of you, Candle has been stopped and her posts and videos removed." Unbeknownst to his Facebook friends at the time, what was actually responsible for taking Candle's videos down about him was a deal he struck with her, in which neither would mention each other's name anymore online. Chance, thinking himself clever, did his usual routine of posting about a person while setting it up so that they thought about him was a deal he struck.
He was punching well above his weight there, mate.
With her, in which neither would mention each other's name anymore online. Chance, thinking himself clever, did his usual routine of posting about a person while setting it up so that they wouldn't be able to see it. However, Candle had an alternate Facebook account she used specifically to check up on Cyraxx's, and upon discovering he was still mentioning her and hadn't taken his post down about her, she nonchalantly said, "Haha, still here, not all the posts are taken down, he broke the deal." The same day, he makes another post about her, attaching a video she had just made accusing him of being obsessed with her, saying, "I give everyone full permission to go all out on this bitch. I held my end of our deal up and removed all videos and posts about her, and she pulls this crap?"
So you're not obsessed about her, so you post obsessively about her to prove that you're not obsessed about her. All right,
The
dude.
comment section in this post is riddled with Candle making fun of Cyraxx and offering to show anyone interested the threatening voicemail he left for her. We actually have a recording of Candle listening to the voicemails.
So you want to keep playing that game? I will have you arrested for harassment. So guess what? I ain't the one going to jail. The one that's going to jail is you. So keep running your mouth, you little bitch. Guarantee your ass is going to go to jail.
On January 7th, he makes yet another post about her, claiming she mentally and verbally abused him and traumatized him worse than any of his other exes. On the 9th, he posts about her again, which prompts her to make a video addressing him a day later. This time, we do have access to the video, which is still up on YouTube.
Yo, this is your girl Rebecca. This is a video to prove how bad of a stalker Chance is. He sat there and found out where I live. Not creepy at all. Not a stalker vibe at all. You're so stupid, kid. Leave me alone. I don't like you. Never liked you. I was nice to you because I felt bad for you, and then I found out you're a liar. You just butthurt because I won't date you. Stop fucking harassing me, you nutcase.
Her speech patterns are off.
So she's like definitely more normal than Cyraxx. She's definitely better looking than Cyraxx. She's definitely more sensible, and she's got her head screwed together. Like she said, she just felt bad. Like I was wondering how he got with her, because like, what the hell, man? Like,
and sometimes even similar to that of Chance's, which has led some to speculate she herself is and always has been a troll. However, judging from the nature of her online activity during this period, it seems she's quite serious about what she's saying. On the 11th, she makes another video deriding Chance and all his threats, with the added bonus that she gets her friend to say,
"I want you to leave my girl alone. You are not a player. You is a dirty stalker. You is not a gangster just over here running your mouth and saying all kinds of crazy ass. You just leave her alone and give her up. You ain't gonna have that or nothing."
Chance's
that guy can't talk properly. Sorry if he's like, I'm not taking the piss, yeah, if he's like got issues or whatever, but like it just like, what it seems like is she just found some random guy in a bar and was just like, "Yo, can you tell this weird stalker guy on video to leave me alone?" And he was like on the spot, like, "My guy."
response was to make a post explaining how to block her and that none of his friends should answer whatever she sends them. Regardless, she keeps on making uploads, claiming that Cyraxx has tried to blackmail her and that he's on psychiatric medications for various different issues, though these claims have not been verified.
What's wrong with being on psychiatric medications, man? Obviously, I take offense to that being bipolar because I'm on a few meds, but like that's, I hate that when people use that as an excuse to slate people. Like, you'd be surprised how many people actually are on psychiatric medications. Like, flipping antidepressants are psychiatric medications. Correct me if I'm wrong. And like a huge percentage of the population are on them. Like, so that's kind of annoyed me a little bit, to be honest with you.
But it wouldn't be surprising. Breaking his own promise to no longer talk about her, he answers again, saying, "Y'all want to know why
But if he's not on psychiatric medication, he certainly should be.
I've been making such a big deal about Candle and her BS? It's because she could end up costing me a very real shot with the major non-profit label Reborn Records,
No,
who's
mate.
been liking my work for some time now, and that's why I've been telling people to report her channel and her videos. This label could change everything for me that I've worked harder than anyone to get, so yeah, this isn't just a little issue. This is huge, and she needs to be stopped ASAP."
Bro, you can stop you can stop your progress and your success very much well on your own, sir. You do not need help.
How obsessively Cyraxx has answered to every single person who has ever gone after him. This was just a convenient excuse for him to do what he would have done anyway. Case in point, one of the people in the music business he'd emailed with his garbage decided to take the time out of their day and explain to him why his music was unlistenable to any sort of record label. The issue is that your demos all use loops. I know you don't have a full setup right now, but I know loads of producers who can use all the music making software, and even if they don't have one, they use a Casio keyboard or a phone. You can create custom music on anything. The problem with loops is it's not your music, it's just choosing music. We need to see you grab a MIDI keyboard and put in those notes, make those beats on an MPC, or even just a cheap MIDI keyboard. We're a record label. We're not in the business of training people or recruiting people with potential. I wish we were, but that would make our clients very unhappy. You need to understand it's my job to find the best of the best out there. Think of it like a sports team. Let's say you're recruiting for the top baseball team in the state. If I pick a guy that hasn't played in a while or isn't a pro level yet, he's going to be rusty and he's not going to be ready. We are not an education group, a school, or a charity. We are a record label that pays people up front for quality beats. We want top quality musicians who make their own stuff. Not rip it, not loop it, just create. Now, dude, don't take me the wrong way. I'm just trying to get you to understand that if you want to make it as a producer in this world, you're going to have to make your own beats. And maybe you can if it's true like you say, but I don't see that. All you've shown me is some loops and then some songs you've downloaded from other producers. Most labels would not give you the time I have given you to explain all of this. They would simply just shun you aside and tell you not to go. But no, I think you're a good dude. Whatever kind soul...
He's not really. I wouldn't say he's a good dude, but like he hasn't got like the context to judge it with. But you got to give this guy props here. He's being really, really patient, really nice, and understanding with him, and genuinely giving him kind-hearted advice on how to achieve his aspirations and goals. Unfortunately, Cyraxx's head is about as thick as a brick wall.
Like you say, but I don't see that. All you've shown me is some loops and then some songs you've downloaded from other producers. Most labels would not give you the time I have given you to explain all of this. They would simply just shun you aside and tell you not to go. But
they probably wouldn't even send him an automated email.
No, I think you're a good dude. Whatever kind soul wrote this happened to be wrong on 2 counts. First off, he claimed not to be a charity, but this is probably the most charitable action anyone has ever bestowed to Cyraxx so far. And secondly, he says Cyraxx is a good dude. Well, Cyraxx attached a picture of this email to a post he made on Facebook, which read, "This is the kind of shit that pisses me off.
No
they act
way.
all interested."
He's actually got something bad to say about this. That's probably the nicest thing anyone has ever said to him in his life.
Once I explain my situation, they pull this shit and kindly tell me to f*** off. Oddly enough, while the sheer effort in communicating the truth to Cyraxx in the nicest way possible wasn't enough to pierce the concrete wall between chance and reality, it was sufficient enough to get other people who saw the post to side with the person who sent the email. People pointed out that his answer was well put together, and that he went out of his way to inform Cyraxx, but even when all of his friends saw the man's point, Cyraxx outright refused to. In a comment, he linked to some rant video he did that explained why what the guy said was unfair, and while the video has since been taken down and we can't watch it anymore, we can presume he did his usual rigmarole of saying that due to being born all kinds of quirked up, copyright laws shouldn't apply to him. One of his friends was particularly poignant when he said, "He's nicely trying to tell you that you are stealing music. If you make any money from that, you can be sued for copyright infringement, plagiarism, etc. Why would a record label pay you to do that? This very nice person is 100% right. No, I'm not watching your rant video."
Nice. All right, just give me 1 sec, yeah? My face is going to disappear because I'm going to drink some of my homemade strawberry cider quickly because my belly is grumbling and I can't get up and make something to eat. So give me a sec.
In another post a few days later, it turns out that the guy with whom Cyraxx had been exchanging emails, who happens to be a representative for a record label called Reborn Records, eventually caught wind of Cyraxx's little post and video complaining about the reply he got. Being rightfully upset that the kindness he extended was met with mockery, he decided to send him another email addressing it. By the way, bitching about it on Facebook won't get you anywhere. Seriously, man, I was trying to help you, but instead of facing up to a challenge, you just think everyone is against you. Rethink your process. Has this way of working really been working for you, or has it not? I suspect the latter. Stay humble, learn the tools, and maybe you'll get a shot. But going around thinking we owe you something for nothing, dude, we're a record label, not a charity. Your situation is that you don't have anything to show me that is original work. How can I hire you? Would you write in your CV that you worked at a big company, then at the interview say, "Oh, by the way, I didn't actually work at that company, but if you just give me a chance," nah, dude. Cyraxx reacted by making another post with the email.
He's still being nice, yeah? Like, even when Cyraxx, like, obviously went on an unhinged rant on a video, and not just that, like, clearly, like, slated him on Facebook. He's still nice. This guy is nice. And this is a record label. They're renowned for being, like, cold and callous, but... Like, you know, like he's genuinely trying to be nice to Cyraxx, man.
Attached, captioned, "This just proves even more how messed up record labels can be these days."
no talking to this guy.
SMH, what happened to the days where labels used to actually care about the artist and not the money? He speaks as if sharing their communications highlighted anything beyond his inability to be cooperative on even the most basic level, and his profound stupidity. Oh, and he also forgot to close the X videos tab he had opened while they took a screenshot of the email and couldn't be bothered to crop it so it wouldn't be visible. In the comments, people began pointing out that Reborn's representative said nothing incorrect once again, and it seemed like he was finally getting decided.
No, wait. He's lucky. I'll tell you what, yeah, he's lucky. Let's go back. He's lucky that, like, he's lucky that you can't see what he's actually watching, because I dread to think.
He also forgot to close the X videos tab he had opened while they took a screenshot of the email and couldn't be bothered to crop it so it wouldn't be visible. In the comments, people began pointing out that Reborn's representative said nothing incorrect once again, and it seemed like he was finally getting to Cyraxx. And I say seemed because it only seemed that way, and he made it very clear that he understood nothing of what that guy had said. In a reply to one of the comments, Chance said the following: "Point is, they approached me wanting to sign me. I didn't approach them at all, and to be fair, I explained my situation fully, and yet what do? They slap me in the face like I'm some sort of joke. I don't own a computer, I own a Chromebook, which is like a PC, but can only run mobile-based apps and such." His excuse for not making original work, being that he doesn't own a computer, is not only a lie because he does have a computer, but it also makes no sense. As the representative pointed out, there are plenty of mobile apps that allow you to make custom music on your phone. Cyraxx actually even uses some of them. He just chooses to use the demo loops instead of making new patterns. When argued into a corner by his Facebook friends, he drops a new video on his page saying that Reborn Records is fake because they checked out his personal page. He also claims that unlike Reborn, his very own record label, Bloodshot, helps artists make money for themselves. A tall order, considering he's one of the artists in Bloodshot and has no money whatsoever. This video was particularly difficult to watch because he's noticeably thirsty, but he refuses to drink a glass of water, which results in him gulping saliva amidst his speech.
It don't matter whether you build it from the ground up, like on FL Studios.
It seems that near the end, the dehydration and general lack of mental faculties start getting to him, as he briefly forgets he's already on his own label, and thus has no need to be signed to any, despite his incessant begging to be signed by one, and he seemingly on accident drops the hard R. Seeing that this strategy of trying to say things related to the actual topic is failing terribly, he returns to his usual tactic of claiming he's being discriminated against due to people finding him hideous beyond comprehension. Then he threatens Reborn with diss tracks and claims he sleeps 5 hours a week, which, though an obvious lie, would explain a lot of his behavior, since it's that degree of sleep deprivation that makes people hallucinate. Also,
bruh, like, you don't know sleep deprivation, Cyraxx, I'm telling you, man. Actually, you might do, because I think he might have bipolar too. That might be why he creates so many projects and doesn't, like, end them. But, like, maybe he does. Maybe he does know what true sleep deprivation is like. I mean, look at my eyes, bro. I look like I'm dying, man. Like, that's just from, like, 2 days. What the hell is going on there, mate? I'm going to be a mess tomorrow, you know. That is not good. That's not good. When I'm like less ill, I actually do sleep, but like, yeah, no, it's not happening at the moment.
So, for the first time in a very long time, he acknowledges that he went back to jail in 2012, only to use it as an excuse for why he's unemployed, while neglecting to mention he choked out his elderly adoptive mother. His heyday with Reborn Records is cut short by the resurgence of Candle, who was threatening to show the label company the video she saved of Cyraxx attempting to blackmail her. We have no proof that Candle's words are backed up by anything, but it seems Cyraxx was pretty terrified of potentially being arrested, so maybe there's something to her claims. However, he ended up not being arrested because, according to him, he hid until the police left and proceeded to call for Sally. Without missing a beat, he converts the situation into another excuse as to why he isn't signed to a record label or doing songs with big artists. A day later, though, he's back to his grind, this time as a professional YouTube channel intro maker. Again, he's using
oh, look, Nuclear Reactor, and our channel's called Nuclear Reaction Faction.
to call for Sally. Without missing a beat, he converts the situation
maybe that's not as amazing as it sounded in my head and feels like, because I'm so tired, I don't know, maybe I'm getting a bit deluded.
to another excuse as to why he isn't signed to a record label or doing songs with big artists. A day later, though, he's back to his grind, this time as a professional YouTube channel intro maker. Again, he's using freeware that an 8-year-old can operate that automatically.
Yeah, thanks, Tom, for clearing that up, because, like, no, just no.
As to why he isn't signed to a record label or doing songs with big artists.
This dude, yeah, look, I'm a video editor, and Like I'm really good. Like I've been doing it since I was about 10 on Windows Movie Maker, and I'm 32 now. And it just no, Cyraxx, you don't have the mental faculty to do
A
that.
day later, though, he's back to his grind. This time as a professional YouTube channel intro maker. Again, he's using freeware that an 8-year-old can operate that automatically makes these intros and tries to sell them off. As you can see, the name of the channel in the intro he made here is Nuclear Reactor. That also happens to be the name of the reaction channel he'd made at the time. Soon after, people began taking issue with his...
That's a really good name for a reaction channel. Like I wanted to be Reaction Traction, which I think would be pretty cool. But then like Nuclear Reaction Faction just come out, and I was like, yeah, that's it. But what was it? What did he say? Nuclear Reactor. That's a really good name for
and tries to sell them off. As you can see, the name of the channel in the...
That's a really good name for a reaction channel. How did he come up with that? You got to admit, yeah, like every now and then he has a glimmer, just a little glimmer of a good idea, yeah, that if he pursued, if he was capable of sticking with it, like he would get further than he has ever in his life. Probably not that far, yeah, let's be fair, but further. And he just doesn't know how to do anything for more than 1 hour.
Intro he made here is Nuclear Reactor. That also happens to be the name of the reaction channel he'd made at the time. Soon after, people began taking issue with his use of the N-word, which prompted Cyraxx to claim he was being victimized. He makes a post...
Yeah, man, I rarely ever use the N-word, and I'm mixed race. I'm like part Jamaican. Half my family's black, and I don't use the N-word. I do, don't get me wrong, I do sometimes, but like not a flipping hard R like Cyraxx.
Is Nuclear Reactor. That also happens to be the name of the reaction channel he'd made at the time. Soon after, people began taking issue with his use of the N-word, which prompted Cyraxx to claim he was being victimized. He makes a post trying to defend himself, but none of his friends side with him. Noticing that the tides had shifted radically against him, his reaction was to simply begin blocking anyone who expressed they disagreed with him, under the guise that it was to clear his account from any of Candle's minions. Cyraxx has a rough start to the month of February, with Sally calling the police over threats to Cyraxx from a female online, whom we can only presume is Candle. On the 6th, he makes a post calling out those who aren't willing to pay for his beats, saying, "You know what confuses me? All these artists say they want beats from me, and they're all willing to pay $10 for 10 solid beats to own flat out. Then when the time comes, they turn tail back out and run off. Like WTF? And y'all wonder why I can't make it as a producer."
Bro, you'd be lucky if even oh, I was about to swear then. I want to get these videos monetized. You'd be lucky if even a crappy rapper, like a crapper, spat over your beats, yeah? Because, like, that would give you some sort of, like, recognition and validation. You should be paying people to spray over your crappy beats.
That's the reason, because too many mofos want to play games and try and take advantage of me. They don't respect music anymore, and how simple but dope-ass loop-style beats like I do evolved into what they are now. Sorry to say, but half you mainstream guys need to learn and do your music history and take a look at where music started with guys like Bach, Beethoven. Do your history, take the time to hone your craft the right way, and stop half-ass shit. Or don't do it at all. Plain and simple.
Is it just me, or does he kind of like think he's black, like? Or like there's nothing wrong with wanting to be black or whatever, yeah. Like nothing wrong with that, yeah. But is it just me, or does he think he's actually black? Like he was a black guy born in a white man's body or something like that.
It seems that after the pressure created by Reborn Records' response, Cyraxx started admitting that everything he does relies on pre-made loops. However, in the comments, he can be seen still claiming that they're original and made from the ground up. Later on in the month, he claims to be retiring from music due to a few people who have been consistently trolling him on his YouTube videos comment sections. In a Donnie Darko-esque turn of events, on the night of the 25th of February, a tree in the neighboring area decides to troll Cyraxx's house by falling very close to it. Without hesitation, he uses this to start talking about how the tree could have easily killed him. After this close call, there's a period of irrelevant developments and 2 mostly redacted police reports coming from Cyraxx's house until mid to late March, when Candle comes back with new, even more scathing accusations.
Alright, this is a live video on Facebook.
Wait, why was it mostly redacted? Is that a good sign or a bad sign? That can't be a good sign. Can it?
Police reports coming from Cyraxx's house until mid to late March, when Candle comes back with new, even more scathing accusations.
Alright, this is a live video on Facebook. I got something to address to all those mothers out there. All you mothers out there that have young children, be warned of this guy named Chance Wilkins. He'll off on your children. Not only that, he'll sit there and check off on video chat with them. He'll sit there and threaten to kill your children if they don't sleep with him. They will do whatever they can. He would literally hurt you. This man is psychotic, dangerous. Women, be warned.
So I want to believe everything she's saying, and I do believe 90% of it, yeah. But I'm also wondering how much is her sort of exaggerating to because she doesn't like him. But that being said, there's proof of him being a creep. So like, and there's proof of him being violent as well. So you know, like even if she's lying in her specific instance, like it's probably still
His
true.
name is Chance Wilkins. If you want his link, it's right there on the description, whatever you want to call it.
Again, while we have no concrete confirmation as to what Candle's allegations pertain to, it seems that they, along with whatever she was sharing directly through Facebook messages, were sufficient enough to persuade two women who were particularly close to Cyraxx, being
Sorry.
Becky, who once called in a welfare check on him, and Abby, who, as we learned from a video Cyraxx posted.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm really sorry about that, guys. I'm so exhausted, but I cannot sleep. Like, just mate.
In June 2019, reunited with him in April, only to break up with him again over whatever the information
Wait,
was
who
that
did?
persuade two women who were particularly close to Cyraxx, being Becky, who once called in a welfare check on him, and Abby, who, as we learned from a video Cyraxx posted in June 2019, reunited with him in April, only to break up with him again over whatever the information was that Candle shared with her. While many have disputed Candle due to her strange mannerisms, it seems that she was one of the first people to be aware of Cyraxx's darker side and truly invested in keeping it at bay, so much so that she called two welfare checks on Cyraxx's house, presumably to intimidate him with police presence. One of her welfare check calls she made.
Hi, I'm calling about a welfare check that needs to be done.
Okay, and who are we checking on?
Chance Wilkins. He was
Okay, I'm starting to think she might be a troll because her voice, her whole affect is complete. I know when you're speaking officially, quote unquote, or like formally to a police officer or someone else in authority, you're going to change your affect and your tone of voice and the way you speak and your mannerisms, etc. But she sounds like a completely different person. Like I could go back in the video and we could compare it actually. Let's compare it.
Women, be warned. His name is Chance Wilkins. If you want his link, it's right there on the description, whatever you want to call it.
See, she's like she's playing some dumb chick, yeah, some like really dumb chick there, like the type of chick that Cyraxx would get with. No offense, I'm not called. Okay, look, that came out wrong, yeah. I'm not calling any specific one chick dumb, yeah, or anything like that. I'm just saying, like you know, I'm not even gonna dig myself a further pit. But you heard her, yeah. Like, let's go back. No, you heard her, yeah. And then let's go forward to the police call. She sounds completely different.
welfare check that needs to be done.
Okay, and who are we checking on?
Chance Wilkins. He was just on YouTube a few moments ago threatening me and a few other of my friends. And I think he's going off his rocker, and I think he might be a danger to himself and others.
Within a month of the last welfare check she called in, based on what we
she's
can
a
see on
troll.
Chance's profile, it seems that word spread that Candle had taken her own life, and according to Cyraxx, unnamed people began blaming him for her passing. Later on, we discovered that she hadn't died at all, but regardless, the rumor was enough to stress Cyraxx out. The information about Candle having supposedly passed hit the Juggalo-adjacent communities that Cyraxx has spent the better part of a decade sharing his music to, and that flipped a major switch. What kicked it off was when Cyraxx was invited to appear on a show called the Juggalo Drama Alert, where he was asked by the host, Fred the Boy Blue, to explain his situation with Candle. Noticing how much of an absolute character Cyraxx was, Fred had him appear in multiple episodes right after, and this grew Chance's popularity exponentially. Whereas he had one or two trolls who intermittently impersonated him before, he was now attracting a group of troll followers who were dedicated, while still...
Can you imagine the type of debauchery and degeneracy that goes on, like, just in the Juggalo community in general, yeah? Because that's their whole vibe, that's their whole shtick, right? But to have a channel based on what they consider drama must be absolutely unhinged.
Cyraxx was. Fred had him appear in multiple episodes right after, and this grew Chance's popularity exponentially. Whereas he had one or two trolls who intermittently impersonated him before, he was now attracting a group of troll followers who were dedicated. While still in their developmental stages, they would eventually become the co-stars of the reality show Cyraxx's life is about to be. Around the same time, though we don't have the exact date, he began dating Heather, but not the same Heather as before. With new Heather, at some point during 2019, he made a video about how cyberbullying cyberbullying and other kinds of abuse may lead to doing something drastic. Well, we
That's
don't know.
weird, man. He had 2 girlfriends called Heather. I had 2 girlfriends called Harriet. And it's such an unusual name as well. Like, so that's kind of weird, man. I don't know why I added that little tidbit in there.
The exact date, he began dating Heather, but not the same Heather as before. With new Heather, at some point during 2019, he made a video about how cyberbullying and other kinds of abuse may lead to doing something drastic. While we don't know the date this video went up, if it came out before Candle began role-playing as if she had passed away, there's a very good chance her faking her death was to make it seem like Cyraxx had done exactly the thing he denounced and cyberbullied someone to the grave. For a while, the trolls did little besides sending outlandish threats of all sorts to Cyraxx, even going as far as calling his home phone to inform him that they had planted a bomb in Sally's car, which Cyraxx reported to the police.
Okay, sorry, I thought that was funny at first. Like, that is not funny. That's not funny at all. I'm gonna end it at that because that seems like a good jumping off point for the next part. Yeah, you've been locked into Nuclear Reaction Faction. Check out my other content, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.